Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Vandeham Sri Guru Sijuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Nitam Tvam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Vagata Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Again, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First of all, I offer my most respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of all their divine graces, all my beloved Guru Varga, and humbly praying for their divine mercy be bestowed upon me, upon all of you. You want translation? No. No need of translation? Good.
Yes, I will translate it.
Okay. I'm also very happy with the special affectionate presence of Srimad Bhakti Alok Tapasya Maharaj Ji in this assembly, giving us his loving association to us, beneficial
Anche molto
for all.
felice di essere in questa amorosa associazione come diceva Bhakti Nandan Swami Maharaj, che ci dà l'opportunità di stare in associazione tutti insieme con affetto.
Offering my loving regards to all the assembled devotees here, devotees of Mahaprabhu, Divine Lord, Divine couple, appreciating all their presence in this Harikatha assembly.
Offro i miei rispetti a tutti che sono in questa assemblea e i devoti di Srimad e Krishna e di Mahaprabhu.
All glories completed. You could complete? Okay. All glories to this Gaura Sankirtana activities, Radha Krishna Sankirtana activities, all glories.
Tutte le glorie alle attività di Radha e Krishna e di Sankirtana di Mahaprabhu.
Gaur Hari Bol. Please don't forget to take some nice pictures from that total picture. For the memories, loving memories of us and also many other devotees all over different parts of the world. Okay. It's also included in this service.
Non dimenticatevi di fare delle fotografie, anche questo è incluso nel servizio.
Is included in the preaching service of the Sankirtana activities going on. These days it's a global village. So devotees from other parts of the world also take part in our program. Through listening, through visualizations.
In questo periodo è un villaggio globale, la comunità dei devoti che da tutto il mondo seguono.
I also need still photographs, not just only video, still photographs.
Le foto non sono
So, anyway, as a part of the service, I am telling this. I am not supposed to explain about photography, this and that. Often devotee forgets some nice duty. Because to them it is quite normal, simple. Maybe photography may not be, so to them, but for the overall community of the devotees all over the world, it is some good token, loving token.
Sì, magari non dovrei parlare di questo, però i devoti a volte si dimenticano, è semplicemente una foto, però per la comunità dei devoti è importante, è una bella cosa avere delle fotografie.
So now, all glories to beautiful Radha Krishna Sankirtana, Mahaprabhu Sankirtana activities all over the world in this beautiful place. Radha Gopinath Mandir.
In questo bellissimo posto, Radha Gopinath Mandir, ci sono le attività di Sankirtana, di Radha e Krishna e di Sankirtana di Mahaprabhu.
So yesterday I was asked about question. So I was requested to be answering around a question with regard to the qualities of the servitors, qualities of the good servitors, good devotees of the Lord.
Ieri mi è stata posta la domanda, mi è stato chiesto di rispondere, di parlare a riguardo alle buone qualità dei buoni devoti, dei buoni servitori.
See, because I also happen to be describing about some natures, characters of some bad servants, bad servitors, or excuse-giving servitors, or in contrast. In contrast to that, devotees requested me to also speak the opposite side of the, speaking about, describing about, side of the good devotees, qualified devotees, lot of beautiful qualifications and characters.
Siccome ho parlato delle qualità dei cattivi servitori, dei servitori che chiedono scuse per non fare il servizio, in opposto a questo i devoti mi hanno chiesto di parlare delle qualità dei bravi servitori, delle belle qualità dei bravi servitori.
See, this is one whole world. This is a vast world of the description of different kinds of so many versatile ways and aspects of the qualifications of a good servitor, genuine servitor, ideal servitors of the Supreme Lord.
È un vasto mondo delle qualità dei servitori genuini, dei sinceri genuini servitori del Signore.
Such topic has been analytical and widely described throughout several holy scriptures, also by the Mahajanas, our Guru Varga, with regard to the real qualifications, genuine qualifications of a proper devotee, pure devotees of the divine couple.
I nostri Guru Varga, i nostri Mahajana hanno descritto in dettaglio nelle varie scritture sacre quali sono le qualità e delle qualifiche dei genuini servitori sinceri.
There have been the descriptions of the qualifications of the Vaishnavas, sadhus. So, in different ways, through the songs, through the beautiful songs composed by Thakur Bhakti Vinod, Narottam Das Thakur, and other great Acharya Guru Varga. Also, it has been described through Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, great books, pure devotional books like Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavatam, described through Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Hari Bhakti Vilas, and so on, many other pure devotional books.
Nelle canzoni di Bhakti Nandan Thakur e di Narottam Das Thakur, nelle nostre scritture Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavata, la Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu sono descritte, e in altre scritture sono descritte meravigliose qualifiche dei Vaishnava e dei Sadhu.
Even all the qualifications of pure bhakti, genuine loving devotion to the divine couple, also understood to be the characteristic signs of the pure devotees. All the description of the qualifications of pure devotion, loving devotion to the Lord, also understood to be reflecting, to be manifesting in the characters of the devotees. So they also become, the qualifications of bhakti also becomes the qualification of bhakta, the devotees at some point.
Le qualifiche descritte della Bhakti a un certo punto diventano anche delle qualifiche dei Bhakta, e queste meravigliose qualifiche descritte, delle qualifiche per essere servitori, bravi servitori, sono in stesso momento anche descrizioni delle meravigliose qualità dei puri devoti.
Just as let me start with the fine examples of Upadeshamritam by Sri Rupa Goswami. See, he first describes about the bad characters, which are anti to the cultivation of higher devotional life, through the verse Atyaharo prayasascha prajalpa niyamagraha janasangascha laulancha sarvir bhaktir vinashati. So first of all, so after describing about this verse, what not to be done, what are prohibited, then he comes to the description of what should be accepted.
Per esempio, nell'Upadeshamrita di Rupa Goswami, lui comincia a descrivere con il verso cosa non bisogna fare, cosa è proibito, e poi comincia a descrivere cosa è da fare.
So he just describes Atyaharo, overeating. Overeating means not just eating food. Like, overeating means receiving, taking, exploiting so many things in one's life. In an overway, the exploiting mood. It may be food, it may be other stuffs, meaning greediness. Prohibited, very prohibited. Atyahara. So overeating means overconsumptions in one's life, more than necessity, prohibited.
Quindi prima cosa è proibito, come descritto, mangiare troppo, ma qua non si riferisce solo al cibo, mangiare troppo, ma consumare troppo, accumulare troppo più di quello che è necessario, consumare, quindi esploitare più di quello che è necessario.
Then prayasascha, excessive artificial endeavors, excessively artificial endeavors or efforts to do something, prohibited.
È proibito fare troppo di quello che è richiesto, ovvero fare troppi sforzi inutili per qualcosa, più di quello di necessario è proibito.
Meaning, again it means imbalancedly excessive, very excessive or imbalanced efforts in any field of the lives of the devotees prohibited.
In qualsiasi aspetto della vita dei devoti fare dei sforzi eccessivi che portano fuori dall'equilibrio è proibito.
Prajalpa, engaging in gossips, engaging in mundane, useless mundane gossips, strictly prohibited.
È strettamente proibito darsi alle chiacchiere mondane, al gossip.
So, devotees should never be wasting their valuable, most valuable time, energy engaging in just worldly gossips and killing the times.
Devoti non dovrebbero mai impegnarsi a sprecare il loro tempo preziosissimo a darsi ai gossip, ai discorsi sui argomenti mondani inutili.
Prajalpa, niyamagraha, also toilsome endeavor, excessive toilsome endeavor, some efforts beyond one's capability, beyond one's capacity, beyond the necessity. Too much effort, prohibited.
È proibito uno sforzo eccessivo vuol dire fuori dalla propria capacità, possibilità, oppure addirittura in sforzi inutili.
Devotees always need to engage in harmonious and engage in a very proper devotional activities with harmonious balance and with the adjustment according to the necessity of the service, according to his own ability, capacity, according to the pleasure of the Lord, then it is quite okay.
I devoti dovrebbero sempre impegnarsi nel servizio in una maniera equilibrata e armoniosa, in accordo alle proprie capacità, in accordo al volere e piacere del Signore e delle circostanze.
But when a devotee makes too much effort, too much endeavor, very excessive, limit crossing endeavors in life, and then as a result so much resentment, exhaustion, resentments, frustration, they all come. It's not good. Keeping balance is always recommended for a devotee in any kind of efforts.
Per il devoto in qualsiasi tipo di sforzo, attività, è raccomandato mantenere l'equilibrio. Per fare gli sforzi eccessivi che portano all'esaurimento, risentimento, non sono buoni.
In other words, following the principle of yukta vairagyam, principle of the balanced life of renunciation, is recommended for the devotee by Krishna.
Quindi è raccomandato per devoti da Krishna seguire il principio di Yukta Vairagya, una vita equilibrata.
Yukta Vairagya means a life of balanced endeavors, balanced, harmonious efforts of the services, eliminating the over endeavor and under endeavors, under efforts, accepting, engaging in the service endeavors as per the requirement, according to requirement in harmony.
Impegnarsi nei servizi in maniera, facendo sforzi in maniera armoniosa riguardo quanto è richiesto, e quindi non fare sforzi eccessivi sopra le proprie possibilità e anche non essere negligenti.
Often when we make too much endeavor, over endeavor, it can be misapplications instead of proper applications, proper implementations.
A volte quando facciamo sforzi eccessivi possono essere delle applicazioni non negative, non applichiamo bene il servizio.
So back to the point, niyamagraha, toilsome endeavor is prohibited.
Quindi è proibito fare eccessivi sforzi.
And jana sangascha laulancha. Again, avoiding the mundane public association. So, in other words, taking mundane public association for a devotee also prohibited.
È proibito per il devoto associarsi con il pubblico mondano, materiale.
Specifically, not all people, but specifically those people in the mundane world who are of anti-God consciousness, mostly atheist, and anti-life, anti-divine life, anti-God, who are mostly in the mode of tamasic and rajasic nature, the effect of whose association will not be good in a devotee's life. So here specifically avoiding the association of that class of people being talked about.
Qui si parla specialmente della classe delle persone che sono contrarie al Signore e alla vita spirituale, che sono ateisti, e quindi associazione con queste persone contrarie ai devoti, al Signore, sarebbe, come si dice, non sarebbe buona per i devoti, quindi specificamente qui si chiede di non prendere queste associazioni.
So, it's being instructed, accept the holy association of the sadhus, the higher spiritualists, devotees, and reject, avoid the association of the mundane people, or tamasic nature, rajasic nature people.
Sì, qui si parlava delle persone che hanno la natura tamasica e rajasica, e quindi bisogna stare in associazione con i sadhu, le persone spirituali, devoti, evitare l'associazione con le persone materiali che hanno la natura tamasica e rajasica.
And low lancha, excessive greed of mundane nature, strictly prohibited.
Strettamente proibito avere un'eccessiva avarizia di natura materiale.
See, the great greed, pure greed, deep greed for having loving service to Krishna Radhika, to be receiving, to be attaining devotional love services to Srimati Krishna Radhika, Srimati Radhika Krishna, are greatly praised, greatly praised and lauded. But the mundane greed, on the opposite hand, is discarded, prohibited.
La grande bellissima avarizia profonda per avere il servizio amorevole per Sri Radhika Krishna è largamente glorificata ed è ottima e favorevole, in contrasto all'avarizia mondana che è strettamente proibita.
Same laulla, similar laullam means our natural greed. In other words, sometimes greed has negative connotation. In other words, hankering. So greatly hankering for the loving devotional services, loving devotional activities in relation to Krishna Radhika, the supreme absolute divine truth. It's very, very beneficial, has been so much praised. It is really needed. While on the other hand, opposed to that, any kind of greed or hankering after mundane stuffs which take us away from Krishna, separate from the interest of Krishna, strictly prohibited for the devotees.
E questo lauliam, questo grande bruciante desiderio, questo per avere l'associazione, il servizio di Sri Radhika e Krishna, è in opposto a questa avarizia, questo desiderio per le cose materiali.
So, sarvir bhaktir vinashati, janasangascha laulancha sarvir bhaktir vinashati. This the 6 aspects, 6 ways actually destroy the pure devotion in the life of devotees. Therefore, all these issues, all these ways must be prohibited, completely prohibited in the life of devotees.
Quindi questi 6 modi di comportamento sono strettamente proibiti nella vita del devoto perché possono distruggere la devozione.
Why all such activities, all such trains are strictly prohibited in the life of devotees? Because These are like the process of elimination, process of rejection. In order to make more place and more space in our heart, in our life, to be inviting the more positive, our positive divine interest, positive divine treasure of life, that of loving devotional service to Krishna, transcendental Radha Krishna consciousness, so that we can make enough space for them, and inviting them to occupy our heart, upon eliminating all these anti-stops.
Perché sono proibiti questi 6 modi di comportamento? Per fare spazio alla pulizia nel nostro cuore, per fare spazio per invitare le divine qualità, per fare servizio alla divina coppia Radha e Krishna.
So, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu wonderfully described all for the great benefits of all of us, the devotees, describing the don't side. Next he is coming to side about the do's, what needs to be done.
E Srila Rupa Goswami, per il beneficio di tutti i devoti, lui ha descritto cosa non è da fare, cosa è proibito, e adesso arriviamo al punto cosa è da fare, cosa dobbiamo fare.
So one of the qualifications of the genuine, sincere devotees would also be all this pratikulla vivarjanam, rejection of all these, what I have just explained, of all these from the life of cultivation, Krishna conscious life, pratikulla vivarjanam, rejection of all these so unfavorable to the interest of life of Krishna consciousness. Considered qualifications of devotee.
Quindi una delle qualifiche dei devoti è considerato proprio questo rigetto delle queste qualità negative che sono contrarie alla vita devozionale del devoto.
See, the definition of qualification is not only understood only through positive acceptance, okay, but also how one is learning, how a devotee is also learning to be rejecting, eliminating the things unfavorable to the life of cultivation of Krishna consciousness. So this education, such education and such activities of eliminating everything unfavorable to the interest of Krishna, Krishna's service, also considered one of the great qualifications.
Quindi una delle grandi qualifiche di un devoto qui viene considerato anche il modo come un devoto impara a rigettare, a eliminare queste attività che sono sfavorevoli alla coltivazione del servizio a Sri Radha e Krishna.
So qualifications are judged both ways. How to accept everything favorable to life of Krishna consciousness, and also how to reject everything, how to say goodbye, okay, eliminate the side of sickness for promoting the devotional health. Both are considered qualifications.
Quindi entrambi sono considerate le qualifiche dei devoti, sia accettare dei comportamenti positivi, sia rigettare i comportamenti che sono le squalifiche per un devoto, quindi dire arrivederci a quelle cose che non ci aiutano e ci impediscono la vita devozionale.
Then next, in a positive way, Rupa Goswami describes about 6 kinds of positive qualifications of a devotee. Utsaha nischaya dhairya tat karma pravakshanat sangatyagat sato vritti sarvir bhakti prasiddhati. The first one is utsahat. Devotees should naturally be having natural enthusiasm in order to be engaged in services to the Lord. Utsaha, the natural qualification of a devotional life.
E quindi Srila Rupa Goswami descrive le 6 positive caratteristiche di un devoto. E prima è un naturale entusiasmo che viene nel servizio devozionale.
Utsahat. Utsaho means feeling encouraged, enthusiasm. So, devotees must have this qualification or cultivate such qualification of feeling joyfully enthused, joyfully eagerful, joyfully enthused to be engaging in loving devotional service to the Lord, and no opposite way.
E quindi questo entusiasmo, i devoti si devono sentire incoraggiati e entusiasti, devono coltivare questo entusiasmo, questo desiderio di avere entusiasmo nel servizio e non l'opposto.
Nischayat has to be nischayatmika, meaning devotees should feel the assurance of the protection of his devotional life with deep faith that I will be protected, nurtured by my beloved Lord Krishna and our Guru Varga. So having such conviction in life, nischayatmika, assurance.
I devoti si devono sentire assicurati, devono essere convinti nella vita che loro saranno protetti e nutriti da Sri Krishna e da Guru Varga.
Nischayatmika vritti means having faith, having firm faith in the ultimate protection and nurturing of the Supreme Lord and by His pure devotees, receiving merciful help from them, and nurturing such faith with some firm feelings and assurance. Also one qualification of devotee, nischayatmika.
In questa qualifica ci vuole fede, bisogna nutrire questa fede che in fondo Sri Krishna e Guru Varga ci proteggeranno, ci daranno una mano e ci nutriranno. Bisogna andare avanti a nutrire questo sentimento, questa fede in loro, nutrire questa fede.
Dhajya, having patience. Maintaining patience in the field of service activities, another necessary qualification of a devotee.
Un'altra qualifica è durante l'attività di servizio di mantenere la pazienza.
What we often lack, lacking. We are easily becoming out of patience. Okay. We always want some quick, fast solution. There's nothing we get frustrated. No. Continuity of the patience with waiting, respectful waiting for resolutions, solutions in our life of devotion also required.
È chiesto avere pazienza, coltivare questa pazienza nel servizio, non di voler fare tutto veloce, che si fa tutto subito. Bisogna coltivare questa pazienza continua e aspettare pazientemente che si arriva alle risoluzioni nella nostra vita, nel nostro servizio.
So having dhairyam is having appropriate patience for a devotee, in the life of a devotee. Consider a great quality because that tests its quality of a devotee's adherence, a devotee's commitment and adherence, tenacity, this dedication, spirit of dedication towards the Lord's service, okay, towards engagement of Lord's service activities.
Questa pazienza è una grande qualità di un devoto perché dimostra anche la sua capacità nel servizio, non solo di avere pazienza, ma si capisce la sua dedizione.
It is applying generally not only to the service, but in understanding of devotion and everything we should have patience.
Of course, what is saying, applying out in general ways, not only specifically in the field of service. Okay. Yes, it is also applied in the general situations of the life of the devotees, in all respects, different fields. Okay.
Sì, questa pazienza, dice Gurudeva, non si applica solo al servizio, ma in tutti gli aspetti della vita di un devoto, anche di avere pazienza, di capire le cose in tutti gli aspetti della vita. E quindi questa pazienza anche dimostra quanto un servitore dedicato al servizio, quanta tenacia ha, quanto è dedicato e deve avere rispetto anche per il tempo, questo rispettosamente aspettare che si arriva a una soluzione.
Well, I was also meaning when I said in the field of service activities, in the life of service activities, I mean also it applies to the general sense because a devotee's life is not without any service activity. Whatever, even in a general way, whatever way devotee live a life, okay, of different kinds of service, filled with service everywhere, even the sleeping, also included in this service. So I was meaning in a very wide sense, while I say service activities, life of service, in that sense.
Maharaj spiega che quando diceva che questo si applica alla vita di servizio del devoto, si applica a tutto, perché il devoto sempre fa servizio, in chiunque modo si svolge la sua vita è sempre un servizio, anche mentre dorme è considerato un servizio, quindi diceva in questo modo, spiegazione era in modo largo.
Dhaijat. Having patience, in other words, means a taste of faith, continued faith, taste of commitment, taste of spirit of dedication, how powerful, strong, firm it is, or it is easily broken, becoming impatient. So it's a big taste, so dhairya. It's also another good qualification for a devotee to have.
Questa è una grande qualifica perché questa pazienza vuol dire avere un gusto nella fede.
Tat karma pravakshana, so utsahan nischaya dhairya. Tat karma pravakshana. Meaning, doing, tat karma pravakshana means doing all the service activities, engaging in all the service activities as necessary, according to the necessities, with all these qualifications, as described.
E quindi dedicarsi alle attività del servizio necessarie con tutte queste qualifiche.
And tat karma pravokshanat also means a devotee should be engaged in one's respective, relevant service activities in relation to the Lord as recommended, as prescribed by Sri Gurudev, other pure devotees, accordingly, tat karma pravokshanat.
E vuol dire che il devoto deve essere ingaggiato nel proprio servizio rispettoso, quello che lo riguarda, in accordo con queste qualifiche e con le istruzioni di Gurudeva.
Not always doing the activities or performing service activities based upon one's own whimsical way, but under the guidance of Sri Gurudev, Vaishnava Acharyas. then it's fine.
Non impegnarsi nel servizio secondo il proprio volere o così momentanee idee, ma sotto la guida di Gurudeva Vaishnava Acharya.
Sangattaga sato vritte, next line. Again, in the previous verse, Rupa Goswami Prabhu also advised, he directed the devotees to be rejecting all the bad association, so unfavorable to life of Krishna consciousness. Here also saying the same thing, again he reiterating, repeating the same, Sangattagat, means rejection of the bad associations.
Quindi nel verso precedente Srila Rupa Goswami ha detto ai devoti di rigettare la brutta associazione e le cose sfavorevoli alla vita devozionale, adesso nel verso successivo lui ripete la stessa cosa, di rigettare l'associazione non favorevole.
But side by side he is immediately saying, also it's very much needed to accept the holy association. Side by side, rejecting the bad association, you must be embracing the good association, good, holy association of the sadhus.
Quindi subito dopo dicendo di rigettare la cattiva associazione, dice subito che è assolutamente necessario abbracciare l'associazione positiva, quella dei sadhu e dei Vaishnava.
Here is the process of elimination as well as acceptance, both happening side by side.
Quindi c'è un processo di eliminazione e di accettazione che succede contemporaneamente.
By the term sato vritti means acceptance of the vritti, of the nature and character of the great sadhus in your life, deeply embracing the qualities, the characters, the nature of the great sadhus in your life and be fulfilled. Sato vritti.
E quindi è necessario profondamente abbracciare e accettare le grandi caratteristiche positive dei sadhu e Vaishnava Acharya e di sentirsi soddisfatti. No, fulfilled.
Be fulfilled.
Be fulfilled. Essere completamente soddisfatti.
Be fully satisfied
Fully
in that
satisfied.
sense. Okay. Sato vritti, sarvir bhaktir prasiddhati. These are the 6 limbs. These are the very prominent 6 limbs, 6 ways which helps you to be more developed and promote your life of pure devotion to Radha Krishna.
Quindi queste sono le 6 braccia prominenti dei buoni modi per sviluppare e approfondire la propria vita spirituale.
These 6 limbs, practicing these 6 limbs in your life, in a devotee's life, greatly helps enhancing, promoting, developing, blossoming your life of pure loving devotion to the Supreme Absolute Divine couple.
Praticando queste 6 braccia, questi 6 modi in cui un devoto dovrebbe comportarsi, questo fa sviluppare, fiorire servizio devozionale e amore per divina coppia.
In other words, these limbs are the great caretaker, protector, caretaker, nurturer of the pure devotion to Krishna.
In altre parole, questi 6 modi sono dei nostri grandi protettori e loro ci nutrono il nostro servizio devozionale per Krishna.
Sarvir bhaktir prasiddhati. See, these are all the qualities, these are all essential qualities of a good devotee, good servitor of the divine couple.
Tutte queste sono delle qualità essenziali di un bravo devoto, di un bravo servitore della coppia divina.
Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu kindly described all these ways of the qualifications of a pure devotee of the Lord, this way.
Srila Rupa Goswami misericordiosamente ci ha descritto queste qualifiche dei puri devoti.
And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, following in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami, following in his mood, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also beautifully described about the same thing in his song, O He Vaishnava Thakura Dayaro Sagaro.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, seguendo nei passi di Rupa Goswami, anche accettando il suo sentimento, ha ancora descritto queste bellissime caratteristiche nella canzone O He Vaishnava Thakura.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur also beautifully describes what should be our mood and ways, okay, of signs of the sadhaka devotees. What should be the qualities of the sadhaka devotees to relate themselves to the very high class Vaishnavas, exalted pure devotees of Lord. Okay, he beautifully described in this song.
Lui ha descritto in maniera meravigliosa il modo in cui i devoti sadhaka si devono relazionare con i devoti esaltati, i puri devoti del Signore.
In this song, he is actually describing the glories of Vaishnava Thakur. Also, Bhaktivinoda Thakur also showing the directions for other sadhaka devotees, how to be submissive, be very respectful and devoted to high-class Vaishnavas. Okay, for them to how to be dedicated, devoted, and relate to the high-class Vaishnavas in that song. So describing their qualifications in this way, you require such qualities to be relating to the Supreme God and His high-class pure devotees.
Quindi qui lui descrive le meravigliose qualità dei puri devoti e il modo in cui un devoto praticante sadhaka dovrebbe relazionarsi in maniera molto rispettosa e amorevole con i devoti eccellenti.
So Bhaktivinoda Thakur also mentions the same description by Rupa Goswami in his song. Chai bego domi, chayo dosho shodhi, chayo guno deho dashi. Chai satsanga, deho hi amai, boshechi sangero ashe. Praying to the Vaishnava Thakur, great exalted pure devotee, exalted pure devotees of the Lord. Please bless me so that I become able to control my 6 kinds of the begas, 6 kinds of the material urges, sensual urges in my life. 6 kinds of mundane, sensual urges in my life. Chai begodami.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur descrive in questa canzone che prega O Vaishnava Thakura, lui prega il grande esaltato puro devoto del Signore: ti prego benedicimi così che io posso vincere sopra questi 6 nemici, questi come si dice, i sensi, i urges, come dice fuori, le spinte dei sensi.
The same thing described by Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamritam through the verse Vacho vegam manasak krodha vegam jyova vegam udaram upastha vegam etan vegani jo vishaheta dhira sarvam apimam prithivim sasishat. Okay, Rupa Goswami advising, directing all the devotees, all the sincere aspirants of the Supreme Lord. to have full control over all these mundane sensual urges which are detrimental to a pure devotional life. Same thing Bhakti Nandan Thakur also describing here.
Bhakti Nandan Thakur praticamente descrive stessa cosa descritta da Rupa Goswami, dove dice che bisogna vincere sopra questi sei spinte dei sensi materiali mondani.
So, having control over this mundane, sensual, urges, also consider some great qualifications of a devotee. To be learning how to having control over these mundane, sensual urges in favor of the cultivation of Krishna conscious life. Considered qualifications.
Anche questo quindi è considerato una grande qualifica del devoto, a imparare come controllare queste spinte dei sensi materiali. Questa è una qualifica che aiuta nella vita devozionale, nella coltivazione della vita devozionale.
Bhakti Nandan Thakur describes the same way in his Bengali song following Srila Rupa Goswami Path.
E quindi Bhakti Nandan Thakur nella sua canzone in Bengali segue nei passi di Srila Rupa Goswami, descrive le stesse cose.
He describes Chaya Begodami, then Chaya Dosha Shadhi, Chaya Guna Deho Dasi, freeing me, correcting me, purifying me from all these from the influence of 6 kinds of material, sensual urges. Chaya Dosha Shadhi, purifying me from 6 kinds of the false shortcomings in mind. Then please bless me with 6 kinds of qualities as described through that verse, Utsahat Nischaya Dharjat.
E quindi Bhakti Nandan Thakur prima prega, ti prego purificami, liberami, fai in modo che io possa vincere sopra queste 6 spinte dei sensi materiali e poi benedicimi che io possa accettare queste 6 buone qualifiche che sono descritte nel verso successivo.
Chaya Guna Deho Dasi, Chaya Satsanga Deho He Amai. There are also 6 kinds of satsanga, sadhu sangas. So Bhakti Nandan Thakur also praying to the exalted pure devotee of Lord Vaishnava Thakur. Also to be blessing him, blessing us with 6 kinds of sadhu sangas, auspicious, holy associations.
Quindi Srila Bhakti Nandan Thakur prega Vaishnava Thakur, un grande esaltato devoto del Signore, ti prego benedicimi con questi 6 tipi di associazione positiva, sadhu sangha.
I am not going into explanation of all that, then I will be branching out. Each and every point requires so much explanations.
Adesso non posso andare nelle descrizioni di questi 6 tipi di sadhu sangha perché ci allargheremo troppo lontano da...
You all know about that, Chaya Begodami, Chaya Dosha Shodhi. Chaya Dos means that same, Uttahara Prayasascha Pujalpaniya Magga, Janasangascha Laulancha, Sarvir Bhakti Vinashati, Chaya Dos. Then Chaya Guna Deho Dasi, Chaya Gun means as is described through Utsaha Nischaya Dharja, Tat Karma Prakshana, Sangatyagat Satyavritti, Sarvir Bhakti Pratishati, 6 limbs of qualifications. That's what Thakur Bhakti Vinod is referring to here.
Quindi qui il Bhakti Nandan Thakur si riferisce, benedicimi a questi 6 tipi di attività positive per un devoto che vuole fare servizio al Signore puro. Quindi lui si riferisce qui benedicimi con questi 6 tipi di servizio, di modi di comportamento.
See. So devotees, a sincere devotee, should be aiming to be cultivating all these qualifications described so far by Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhu, again by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, repeated by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Okay, because our subject matter of discussion, topic of discussion is the qualities of the good devotees, pure devotees.
Quindi il tema del nostro discorso di oggi sono le buone qualità dei devoti e i devoti dovrebbero coltivare queste buone qualità descritte da Srila Rupa Goswami e poi descritte da Bhakti Nandan Swami. Tutte queste.
So such are the examples of the qualifications, qualities of a good devotee, good servitor, pure devotees.
Quindi queste sono le qualifiche di un buon devoto, di un buon servitore.
There are so many more.
Ci sono tante altre.
See, when we go through the songs of Thakur Bhaktivinoda, Atmani Vedana tua pade kori, hainu parama sukhi. Atmani Vedana tua pade kori, hainu parama sukhi. আমার দুঃখ দূরে গেল চিন্তা ন রহিল চৌদিকে আনন্দ দেখি. This song, other song like আমার বলিতে প্রভু আর কেহ নাই তুমি আমার মাত্র পিতা বন্ধু ভাই. Other song like মানস দেহ গেহ ইয়ো কিছু মর অর্পিলু তুয়া পদে নন্দ কিশোর. Songs like এমন দুর্মতি সংসার ভিতরে পড়িয়া আছিল. Many such songs from the Saranagati Kalyan Kalpataru are wonderfully describing about the ways of a good devotee, qualifications of a good devotee, good servitor of the Lord.
E le canzoni del Sharanagati di Bhakti Nandan Thakur tutte descrivono i modi di fare, le qualifiche dei bravi devoti, dei bravi servitori.
Especially through the songs, okay, in Sharanagati, Kalyana Kalpataru.
Specialmente nelle canzoni di Sharanagati.
Also in many other songs composed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur. Specifically, I mean these songs composed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Sharanagati and Kalyan Kalpataru. Okay, so many wonderful qualifications of a devotee have been described.
Lì specialmente sono descritte anche nelle altre canzoni di Bhakti Nandan Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, ma specialmente qui sono descritte le meravigliose caratteristiche dei bravi devoti.
Having surrender, cultivating a pure loving surrender, in other words, mode of pure loving dedication is the greatest and highest, super excellent qualification, fundamental and highest qualification of a good devotee, good servitor.
La qualifica di un bravo devoto, di un bravo servitore, fondamentale e super eccellente è coltivare amorevole resa al Signore.
Saranagati, Atma Samarpana, giving yourself. Atma Samarpana means lovingly giving yourself, dedicating yourself, devoting yourself in the loving service to the Lord and pure devotees. Called Atma Samarpana, Sharanagati. Cultivating that mood of loving devotion, that way loving surrender in the interest to please Krishna. Considered to be the topmost essential, at the same time fundamental, at the same time the topmost qualification of a pure servitor, pure devotee.
Atma Samarpana, dandosi amorevolmente, completamente al Signore, al servizio, dedicandosi al servizio del Signore Supremo e dei Suoi devoti, è considerato in stesso momento una qualifica necessaria e fondamentale e in stesso momento una qualifica più esaltata.
And all other qualities of a good servitor, good devotee, actually goes round and round, okay, like circumambulating this main central qualification, that of cultivation of loving dedication.
Quindi questa coltivazione della dedizione amorevole è come un pilastro intorno al quale tutte le altre buone qualità girano intorno.
Because this is considered to be main central quality, central qualification, and all other qualifications of a devotee going round. I mean, it's like remains connected with it, assisting. They are like assistant qualifications, more nurturing, supplementing, complementing, assisting qualifications to this main central qualification, cultivation of loving devotion.
Questa caratteristica della coltivazione.
Loving devotion to the Supreme Lord, yes.
Coltivazione della devozione amorevole al Signore Supremo è la centrale, la fondamentale caratteristica di un devoto intorno al quale tutte le buone caratteristiche girano, ovvero lo supportano. Questa è la centrale caratteristica più importante.
And Thakur Bhaktivinoda describes in his song, Kabe habe balo shedino yama. Oh Lord, oh my beloved Lord, when will that day be mine? When that most fortunate day will be mine? When will that day be mine to be receiving that most fortunate ambrosial experience of your connection, of your manifestation, beautiful, wonderful, ecstatic manifestation in my heart, in my life. Such type of prayer is also a great qualification of a devotee.
Bhakti Nandan Swami in questa canzone dice: Oh Signore, quando arriverà il giorno, quando io riceverò questa ambrosiale esperienza di avere la connessione con te, di vederti, di essere in connessione con te, questo sentimento di vederti nel mio cuore. E questo sentimento è anche una grande qualifica per un devoto.
Such song and many other songs like this song are great examples of the descriptions of the pure qualifications, very, very necessary qualities of a great devotee. The ideal, full of the descriptions.
E quindi queste canzoni sono piene delle descrizioni. Queste descrizioni sono esemplari, proprio descrizioni delle qualifiche dei puri devoti.
The qualifications, the characters, great characteristics of a good servitor, sincere devotee have been described throughout all these songs. This is one example, there are many other such songs.
Quindi in queste canzoni, ci sono anche altre, ma in queste canzoni sono descritte le grandi qualifiche e le caratteristiche essenziali dei puri devoti.
Other songs like Kabe habe heno dasha moro, Kabe habe heno dasha moro, and Hari Hari bifale janamo goainu. All these songs full of Sharanagati. All these songs filled with Saranagati mood. All these songs filled with Prarthana mood of devotional prayer. And naturally indicating, referring to different kinds of devotees' characters. Characters meaning some qualities of the prayers to the Supreme Lord.
Queste canzoni sono piene del sentimento di Sharanagati, di aresa, e del sentimento della preghiera, e descrive non solo le varie qualità dei devoti, ma anche i loro sentimenti nella preghiera.
Sì. Holy Scripture we find 26 qualities of a Vaishnava. Another whole world. 26 qualities of who? Of a pure Vaishnava. It means any good servitor, any good sincere devotee must be aiming to be receiving, to be cultivating and finally having all those 26 qualities of the pure devotional life.
Nelle scritture sacre sono descritte 26 qualità dei puri Vaishnava e quindi qualsiasi devoto sincero, bravo devoto, deve cercare di sviluppare e coltivare queste 26 caratteristiche dei puri devoti.
Starting with Kripalu akritadroho saptasara sama nirdosha Vadana, Mridu, Shuchi, Akinchana, in this way it goes. In Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, in one place it's wonderfully described what 26 qualities of the pure devotional life should be embraced, should be cultivated and should be attained in the life of a sincere servitor, sincere devotee of Lord.
Quindi qua in un posto, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, sono descritte queste 26 caratteristiche del puro devoto che devono essere coltivate e ottenute, raggiunte nella vita di un sincero servitore del Signore.
It is described in scripture, holy scriptures such as Kripa Sindhu Susampurna, in this way. A lot of verses. So, you have Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Yes.
Can you bring Chaitanya Charitamrita and finally read it out? All these 26 qualities. 26 qualities of a Vaishnava, pure devotee. Can you read out, please?
Yes, but which book? Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are 6 books. Or 8 books.
Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is indeed Sanatana Shiksha, Rupa Shiksha. Anyway, so you can find out the mention of 26 qualities in the index. You can find out with the first line of the verse, Kripalu akrita droho sattasara sama. I give you the clue. First line starts with Kripalu, then akrita droho. You can find out from the internet. Please type it up. Kripalu, K-R-P-L-U. Kripalu. Then the separate word, akrita droho, A-K-R-T-A-D-R-O-H-A. You found it?
Kripalu, sorry.
Then akrita droho, akrita, A-K-R-T-A, droha, D-R-O-H-A. You should find, I know. From Chaitanya Charitamrita. Or simply browse 26 qualities of a Vaishnava. You can also mention that. No? How could it be? It's famously known. You can also write 26 qualities of a Vaishnava. Then it can also. This one. You have got?
No.
Oh, good, thank you. Sure. Yes, very nice, thank you, Prabhu. Got it. Maharaj, got it. Okay, here are, see. So here are the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava described by Srimad Bhagavatam, and here also referred by Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu. You can see in his book Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, says that all good qualities become manifest in the body of a Vaishnava, and that only by the presence of these good qualities can one distinguish Vaishnava form from a non-Vaishnava. So, anyway, don't need to translate this portion. Now, first qualification. I read out the qualities one by one. First quality, Kripalu. He is very kind to everyone.
È molto gentile con tutti.
Second, he does not make anyone his enemy.
Nessuno è suo nemico.
3, he is truthful.
Dice la verità.
4, he is equal to everyone.
È uguale di comportamento con tutti.
5, no one can find any fault in him.
Nessuno può trovare una pecca in lui.
6, he is magnanimous.
È magnanimo.
7, he is mild.
È moderato, gentile.
Mild means niriho, peaceful, yes.
Pacifico.
8, he is always clean.
È sempre pulito.
9, he is without possessions.
È senza possedimenti.
10, he works for everyone's benefit.
Lavora per il beneficio di tutti.
11, he is very peaceful.
È molto pacifico.
12, he is always surrendered to Krishna.
È sempre arreso a Krishna.
See, this is the central and main qualification.
Questo è il centrale, la migliore qualifica.
That he is always surrendered to Krishna. This is understood, Atmanivedanam, understood to be central, most fundamental, and the highest essential qualification. And all other qualifications are like mostly assistant, nurturing, complementing and nurturing qualifications to this.
Quindi questo Atmanivedana che sempre è reso a Krishna è la qualifica centrale, necessaria e anche la più esaltata qualifica, intorno alle quali tutte le altre qualifiche fanno da servitrici.
And 13, he has no material desires.
Non ha desideri materiali.
14, he is very meek and humble.
È molto umile e...
Humble.
Umile.
14, he is very meek. 15, he is steady.
Steady, che è fermo.
16, he controls his senses.
Controlla i suoi sensi.
17, he does not eat more than required.
Non mangia più del necessario.
Meaning, he does not consume anything out of greed more than required.
Che non consuma niente che più del necessario per vivere.
Alone. Okay. So, he does not eat more than required. Means he doesn't consume anything more than his necessity.
Non consuma niente che è più del necessario.
18. He is not influenced by the Lord's illusory energy.
Non influenzato dalla energia illusoria del Signore.
A good challenge. 19. He offers respect to everyone.
Offre il rispetto a tutti.
20. He does not desire any respect for himself.
Non desidera nessun rispetto per se stesso.
21. He is very grave.
È molto serio.
22. He is merciful.
È misericordioso.
23. He is friendly.
È amichevole.
24. He is poetic.
È poetico.
25. He is expert.
È esperto.
And 26. He is silent.
È silenzioso.
is silent but full of eloquence.
Silenzioso ma pieno di eloquenza.
Full of eloquence through silence. That kind of silence.
Questo tipo di silenzio, eloquenza nel silenzio.
Poetically. So if I now start analyzing and giving illumination on each and every qualification of a good devotee, sincere servitor, it will take another 2 hours.
E se adesso comincio a descrivere in dettaglio ogni buona qualifica del devoto, ci prenderanno altre 2 ore.
Can you all have that much patience? Yes. Big taste of patience.
Potete avere tutti avete gusto per avere questa pazienza, per ascoltare? Sì.
Oh.
Io devo andare a cucinare proprio.
See, before this I spontaneously remember another verse describing Vaishnava qualities, devotees' qualities as, let me explain the first, titikshava karunika suhida sarvabhutanam ajato sattva shanta sadhava sadhur. Titikshava karunika suhida sarvadehinam ajato sattva shanta sadhava sadhubhushana. So, one of the foremost qualifications, or one of the important qualities of a devotee is becoming titikshava. Titikshava means having the quality of tolerance, cultivating a qualification of tolerance in the mode of forgiveness, called titikshava.
Questa qualifica, una delle qualifiche essenziali di un devoto, è coltivare la tolleranza con un sentimento di perdono.
Titiksha also means it's kind of some sacrificing, holy sacrificing mood in the spirit of toleration. Even it also means the strength of tolerating the humiliation, insulting in his life. No ordinary toleration. A great spirit of toleration called titikshava.
Vuol dire anche una tolleranza forte, non ordinaria, che ci fa tollerare anche umiliazione, oppure una tolleranza we can tolerate the humiliation, and before you said,
in other words,
yes.
It is the mode of cultivation toleration. In other words, it's the mode of toleration of such type which has got some forgiving, sacrificing quality inside that toleration. It's not any such toleration which is like somehow done out of some frustration, bitter taste, and very painful taste, painful feelings, but it's with more kind, forgiving nature. Okay, tolerating with the spirit of forgiveness, more noble forgiveness, compassion, tolerating.
Quindi tollerare con un nobile perdono, perdonare, avere compassione, questo sentimento di compassione, coltivare un sentimento anche di sacrificio. Non è un perdono fatto con risentimento, rabbia perché è necessario, ma per via proprio di questo perdono, tolleranza per il perdono, sentimento di sacrificio.
A great example is Jesus Christ. How he tolerated at the time of crucifixion. Another great example is Haridas Thakur. Even Nityananda Prabhu, while attacked by Jagai Madhai, a great example of titikshava. Toleration between the mode of forgiveness, kind forgiveness, without having bitter anger or pains. I don't want to, but somehow forcibly tolerating, not like that. It's a noble way of toleration. Spirit of loving sacrifice, compassionate sacrifice.
È un nobile modo di perdonare, un sacrificio nobile spirituale, un perdono, una tolleranza per via di un perdono gentile. Grandi esempi sono Gesù Cristo, Nityananda Prabhu e Haridas Thakur.
See, although Lord Nityananda although Haridas Thakur was attacked, Lord Nityananda was attacked by some conditioned jiva souls, by the bad persons. But their attitude was, they're tolerating, but the attitude was that of compassion and forgiveness towards them who are attacking. Even Jesus Christ, even who was tortured, they're tolerating, but with spirit of forgiveness, feelings of compassion. It can only be possible in a very noble personality, pure sadhu.
Nityananda Prabhu e Haridas Prabhu sono stati attaccati dalle anime condizionate, delle persone cattive. Loro hanno tollerato, ma con questo sentimento di perdono. E stessa cosa, Gesù Cristo è stato maltrattato e lui ha tollerato, ma sempre con questa compassione.
See, it's not only tolerating, but they are rather doing good to them and blessing them. Okay, out of their kind, forgiving nature. The same persons who are doing harm to these noble Vaishnavas, noble devotees, exalted devotees of Lord. And in return, these exalted personalities are, what kind of return they are giving? Doing good to them. Also included in the character of titikshava.
Questo è incluso in questa specie di tolleranza dove queste persone nobili, grandi sadhu, sono state attaccate e loro facevano bene ai loro aggressori dandogli la benedizione per via di questi loro sentimenti compassionevoli.
The next qualification, karunikaha. His heart is filled with compassion, a pure sadhu's heart. Filled with so much compassion, most embodiment of compassion and kindness, karunika.
Il grande sadhu devoto, il suo cuore è pieno di compassione.
If all these sadhus are not fully embodiment of the kindness and compassion, at least they have the great quality of compassion, graciousness, mercifulness in their character.
Loro hanno una grande caratteristica di misericordia nel loro carattere.
Karunika. Suhrida sarva dehinam. Titikshava karunika. Suhrida sarva dehinam. The affectionate friends to one and all.
Sono degli amici affettuosi a tutti gli esseri.
Affectionate, loving friend to one and all, to all the jivas, not only human beings, but to all the jivas, to everyone.
Non solo umani, ma tutte le anime, a tutti.
One of the great qualities of sadhu. Sarvadehinam.
Qualità dei sadhu.
Sarvadehinam means to all the living entities, regardless of human or other creatures.
amici, a tutte le entità viventi.
So, affectionate friend to one and all, and great well-wisher, Suhida. Yes. A great pure well-wisher of all the living entities in the creation.
E anche i più grandi benefattori a tutti gli esseri viventi nella creazione.
Ajata Shatrava Shanta. Ajata Shatru. They don't invite any enemies in their life. In other words, no people actually find any scope, any issue to become their enemy. They have such character, sadhus.
Non invitano nemici nella loro vita, ovvero nessuno troverà ragione per essergli nemico, hanno un carattere del genere.
In other words, such sadhu, the pure sadhu lives such type of lifestyle mostly. It doesn't invite any animosity, any inimical nature from anyone, so nobody finds any scope to become his enemy.
In altre parole, un sadhu puro conduce una vita del genere dove lui non c'è spazio per che qualcuno gli diventa nemico, non trovano nessuna caratteristica in lui per essergli nemico.
In other words, living such kind of life, such kind of holy, non-violent, compassionate lifestyle, that the people rather want to reciprocate with that sadhu, naturally with some love and care. That's how they feel inspired, instead of finding any scope to become his enemy, because he's being so good, so well-wisher to anyone and everyone.
Siccome il benefattore conduce una vita così, dove lui è benefattore di tutti, è amorevole, gentile, le persone vogliono reciprocare con gentilezza, amorevolezza, invece di trovare delle ragioni per cui essergli nemico.
Then Shanta, next qualification. Ajata Shatrava Shanta. Shanta means very calm, quiet, peaceful. Having the nectarine, having a great character of having divine peace and state of divine equilibrium. Shanta.
Shanta vuol dire che ha pace, è pacifico, ha uno stato di equilibrio pacifico.
In other words again, Shanta means being so calm and quiet, almost being self-sufficient, being self-reliant, self-sufficient. That gives them that calmness, self-satisfied, self-contented, this way, with so much peace, and so much peace and happiness. Therefore, Shanta, it represents all these characters.
In Shanta sono presenti tutte queste caratteristiche, che uno è silenzioso, è calmo, pacifico, perché praticamente è autosufficiente, trova la soddisfazione dentro di sé e per questo lui si sente in pace.
These are the qualifications, ornaments, consider ornaments for a pure sadhu.
Queste sono qualifiche che sono considerate anche un ornamento di un puro sadhu. Ajata
Shatrava Shanta, Sadhu Bhushana. These sadhus are considered to be the ornaments. These pure sadhus are actually considered to be the ornaments of other sadhus too. Okay, it is poetically described. So first let me see, therefore it takes so much time to explain each and every point. Sadhava, it also means ajata sattva, shanta sadhava. Sadhava means these pure devotees, sadhus, have all such sadhu-like qualities, of such great qualifications, saintly qualifications in such a way. First translate.
E quindi questi grandi sadhu hanno queste qualifiche dei puri devoti, queste grandi qualifiche che sono considerate i loro ornamenti.
And such qualities of the sadhus as described here, with such high qualifications, also considered to be the ornamental of other sadhus. In other words, they become mutually ornaments to each other. You know, they become mutually ornamental, mutual decorations of each other, sadhus. You know, how to express. Sometimes when in our family gathering, near and dear family gathering, we, by our reciprocative love relationship among our near and dear family members, we decorate each other, we beautify each other, we make each other happy, mutually happy. Not that I am making him happy, he is also making me happy. So it's a reciprocative ways of the poetic conceptions in the world of the sadhus. One sadhu also decorating another sadhu. In return, that sadhu also decorating that sadhu. Okay, beautifying, decorating through ishtagoshti mood. Dadati-pratigrhnati, gujamakha, that is another, coming to that.
Quindi è una descrizione poetica dove questi grandi sadhu Vaishnava, puri devoti, che hanno queste caratteristiche descritte, loro, questi puri sadhu, che hanno queste caratteristiche come delle decorazioni, loro allo stesso modo sono dei ornamenti, delle decorazioni di tutti gli altri sadhu con quali si relazionano, con questo sentimento di Ishtagoshti, di parlare di Radha e Krishna. E quindi con i loro scambi amorevoli si decorano uno con l'altro.
They imbue each other. They continue to be imbuing each other with their own devotional mood, mutually. They mutually decorate each other, beautify each other, affect each other with their loving devotional mood, and that way they have their reciprocations. Okay, so it also means that.
Vuol dire anche che i sadhu con i loro scambi amorevoli si decorano uno con l'altro e si rendono ancora più belli.
But in plain language, in plain translation, it can be such high quality sadhus with such higher qualifications as described in this verse are considered as the great ornaments, invaluable ornamental decorations, beautifications in the world of the sadhus, all over the world of the sadhus.
In altre parole più semplici, non poetiche, vuol dire che queste persone esaltate, decorate da queste caratteristiche dei puri devoti, loro sono una decorazione, un gioiello prezioso nella comunità dei sadhu.
If we don't want to explain or translate this last part in the way as I just described previously earlier, the sadhus are decorating each other mutually. Sadhus are imbuing and beautifying each other mutually. So, if you don't want to explain in that way, that's one way of explanation. Other plain way of explanation is such sadhus with such high qualifications as narrated, okay, in this verse are considered to be the great ornaments, adornments, decorations, great, glorious beautifications of the world of the sadhus. Plain, straight, simple way.
Se non vogliamo spiegare in questo modo poetico dove i devoti esaltati si decorano a vicenda uno con l'altro, con altri devoti che con loro scambi amorevoli si abbelliscono uno con l'altro, possiamo dire su un altro piano che questi grandi devoti esaltati con delle loro caratteristiche super eccellenti diventano dei gioielli meravigliosi, preziosi che abbelliscono tutta la comunità dei sadhu.
Sì. Other great interrelated qualifications are described as in the verses of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, such as Annabhilashita Shunnam Jnana Karmadhanavritam Anukullena Krishnanushīlanam Nama Bhaktiruttama. These are the next verse, Sargopadhi Vinirmuktam Tatparatena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Shevanam Bhaktiruchyate. Although these are the direct definition of the bhakti. Okay.
In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ci sono queste dirette descrizioni della bhakti.
Although these are the direct descriptions about the science of the pure bhakti, Krishna bhakti. But the characters of the pure Krishna bhakti means it's also reflected, it's also manifested in the character of the bhakta, one who is having that Krishna bhakti. Same quality, character also extending, manifesting there, inseparable way. Bhakta and bhakti, bhakti and bhakta, both are inseparable.
Queste sono descrizioni della scienza della bhakti e in stesso modo queste descrizioni la bhakti diventa bhakta e queste descrizioni in stesso modo si manifestano nel carattere di un puro devoto.
So the first characteristic, Annabhilashita Shunnam, being devoid of all the unwanted material desires, away from the interest of Krishna. Annabhilashita Shunnam.
Prima Annabhilashita Shunyam vuol dire essere liberi da tutto quello che non è favorevole a Krishna, dai desideri che non sono favorevoli alla coscienza di Krishna.
I repeat, being totally freed from, being totally devoid of all the desires, all the external, unnecessary desires, mundane desires, which are not favorable to Krishna consciousness.
In altre parole vuol dire essere completamente liberi dai desideri esterni materiali che non sono favorevoli alla coscienza di Krishna.
First qualification of a pure devotee.
Prima qualifica di puri devoti.
The second qualification, jnana karma dhanavritam. Being uncovered, unaffected, not influenced by the mundane jnana and karma, mundane effect of the mundane knowledge and the mundane activities.
Seconda caratteristica è essere completamente non toccati dalla mondana conoscenza e dalle mondane attività.
In other words, staying non-influenced, staying or being not influenced, not coming under the effect of the attraction of the mundane knowledge and mundane activities. always staying beyond it. Jnana karma dhammadhitam.
Sempre stare fuori dalla conoscenza e dall'attività materiale vuol dire non essere influenzati da loro.
And next line. Anukullena Krishnanushilanam. Engaging in the cultivation of Krishna conscious life, life of pure loving devotion to Krishna, with the principle of acceptance of everything favorable to Krishna's interest and rejection of unfavorable to Krishna, to Krishna's interest. Anukullena Krishnanushilanam.
Il terzo è sempre con questo principio di rigettare le cose, l'attività non favorevoli con il volere di Krishna e accettare le cose favorevoli per sviluppare la coscienza di Krishna. Questa è la terza caratteristica.
Again, in other words, Anukullena Krishnanushilanam. It directly means having the Krishna Anushilanam, means fully engaging, absorbing in the cultivation of loving devotional Krishna conscious life with through the path of acceptance of everything favorable to Krishna's interest, life of Krishna consciousness.
Vuol dire impegnarsi pienamente, sinceramente e immergersi completamente nella coltivazione della coscienza di Krishna, sempre usando questi principi di rigetto delle cose sfavorevoli per la nostra vita spirituale e accettando le attività favorevoli.
This is called Uttama Bhakti, the signs and qualities of Uttama Bhakti, pure devotion, pure high class, exalted devotion. And thereby they are the qualities of a high class Uttamadhikari devotee too.
E questa è la scienza delle caratteristiche della Uttama Bhakti e quindi in stesso momento sono anche descrizioni delle qualità di un devoto e super eccellente, un Uttama Bhakta.
Next verse. See, if I go to analyze further, it will be taking so much time and you will all be out of patience. There is also necessity of making illumination, about the nature of Krishna Anushilanam, cultivations of life, devotional life, cultivation of devotional life of Krishna consciousness. And Anukullena Krishna Anushilanam. So these all can be further explained in a very enriched manner about in what kind of favorable ways, with what quality of favorable ways, or with what quality of favorable acceptances in relation to in the interest of Krishna's service, what intensity of cultivation of pure life of Krishna consciousness is being recommended here. It will take time if I go to further illuminate. Each and every word is another word.
Questi versi, ogni parola apre un mondo illimitato delle descrizioni. Qua si potrebbe andare avanti a descrivere tutti i modi specifici come noi possiamo positivamente accettare le attività favorevoli, come, con quale sentimento, e quindi prenderebbe tanto tempo, forse voi perderete la pazienza.
See, this is very meaningful word, Anukullena Krishnanushilanam. Krishnanushilanam with Anukullam means cultivation of loving devotional life in relation to Krishna, cultivation of loving devotional service meant for Krishna, in connection with Radha Krishna. And how to do that? which favorable ways, greatly favorable ways, with what kind of favorable acceptance you should accept, you should have, to be cultivating it very nicely and beautifully. Like with a very beautiful, wonderful way, with what acceptance of what kind of beautiful, favorable things in your life, okay, to promote the cultivation of beautiful, loving devotion to Krishna, loving devotional service to Krishna. All are there. Description. It's not just acceptance of the favorable things, acceptance of the things favorable in relation to Krishna, in the interest of Krishna, finish. Acceptance of what kind of beautiful, favorable ways and things to accept in the life of your bhajana, cultivation of the high class bhajana, Krishna Anushilana, all are described in this term. One whole world.
Un intero mondo è descritto qui perché si tratta di come coltivare la coscienza di Krishna e sincero il servizio devozionale a Krishna con questo processo di accettamento, di accettare le cose positive per il nostro bhajana. E quindi non si tratta solo, va bene, accettiamo le cose positive, no, qui si tratta di capire tutti i modi come accettare queste bellissime caratteristiche positive, tutti i modi come, con quali sentimenti.
It also means cultivating or absorbing into your high class internal bhajana mode with the acceptance of many congenial, very pleasingly favorable ways and things which can be complementing to that bhajana life. Means that. And that refers to the Uttama Bhakti, no ordinary Bhakti, Uttama Bhakti.
E qua non parliamo di una Bhakti ordinaria, parliamo di Uttama Bhakti, come complementare questi bellissimi accettamenti di cose meravigliose dentro il nostro bhajana interno.
That is referred by the term, that word Anukullena Krishna Anushilana.
Questo è compreso tutto questo Anukullena Krishna.
Known as Bhakti Uttama, one of the definitions of Uttama Bhakti, also one of the definitions of Uttama Bhakta.
Questa è una delle definizioni.
That way, in relation to the Bhakti.
Una delle definizioni di Uttama Bhakti e delle descrizioni di un Uttama Bhakta.
But if I go to dive deep into that world, I cannot finish this topic. It will take 3-4 days. Anyway, next verse then. Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate. Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam, being completely freed and liberated from all kinds of limited, mundane designations, worldly designations of our name, fame, mortal name, fame, and all these selfish, mundane interests. So being free, totally freed from all these mundane designations, titles, of power and position, titles of connected with the big name, fame, and all designations connected with all. Be totally free. Summarily reject all of them. Be totally freed from that in the first place.
In primo luogo, essere completamente liberi dalle tutte le designazioni materiali, nome, fama, quindi essere completamente liberi da qualsiasi designazione materiale.
And become, being nirmalam, being very holy. I repeat, being very pure, very holy. Being filled with divine auspiciousness.
Nel stesso momento diventare molto puro e molto santo, pieno dell'auspiciosità di santità.
In other words, being very pure, very auspicious. How? Being purely Krishna conscious. Tat-parattena. Being fully imbued, captured, inundated by Supreme His consciousness, by the nectarine divine Krishna consciousness, one can become so pure, nirmalam, not otherwise.
Essere completamente puri e auspiciosi, come diventando pienamente sopraffatti, immersi nella divina coscienza di Radha e Krishna, l'unico modo per diventare puri.
In other words, more plain, more in a plain expression should be like tat-parattena nirmalam, becoming filled with highest purity. In other words, becoming very pure or filled with divine purity. Being imbued with Krishna consciousness. Being wholeheartedly imbued with, beautified with, inundated with pure Krishna consciousness. That's how we're becoming pure, highly pure.
Ecco come si diventa estremamente puri, essendo pienamente sopraffatti, riempiti nel cuore della pura coscienza di Krishna.
See, I'm repeatedly explaining the same thing. Why? Because explaining this just only one time in one way is not sufficient. We need to have our approach from different angles of the vision, of the Siddhanta, of the Siddhantic explanation. One way of approaching from one angle to the same Siddhanta is not always enough. It cannot give the holistic picture. We need to be approaching from different angles of visions to the Siddhanta, with different poetic, devotion, with different poetically devotional way. Okay, then we can have relatively overall picture of the definition.
Perché io continuo a ripetere? Perché per poter avere una visione olistica relativamente, una relativa visione del Siddhanta e approcciandosi dai vari angoli con una descrizione devozionale e poetica.
So when I'm repeating, although I'm repeating the same thing, but when I'm saying in other words means slightly different from all the descriptions by mine, like earlier description. For example, when I say becoming pure, highly pure, or becoming filled with purity, highest purity, saying the same thing, but through different concepts, different poetic way. Because necessarily being filled with the purity and becoming fully pure, although they are interrelated, they are not same way of the feelings. So that's my different approaches to different poetic ways.
Io descrivo in vari modi poetici come dire estremamente puro oppure pieno di purezza, anche se diciamo stessa cosa, ma espresso con altri sentimenti.
Because when you say become pure, it's okay, I'm becoming pure. But when you say becoming filled with purity, highest purity, divine purity, you have another sensation, conception of the same truth, that my whole existence is becoming filled with purity, divine purity. Same expression, but they're not same, exactly. Therefore I repeat.
Come dire, io ripeto perché come dire uno diventa puro, sì, va bene diventa puro, ma se io dico uno diventa pieno.
So, Anukullena Krishna Anushilana. Second verse. Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tatparatena nirmalam. That's what I was explaining. Tatparatena nirmalam. Thus, again, becoming so pure-hearted, in touch, in the pure divine connection.
Diventare puri di una purezza eccellente che è l'amore per Sri Radha e Krishna.
Connection, ambrosial connections.
Una connessione ambrosiale.
Then Rishika means all our senses. Rishikesha. Rishikesha means the Lord of all our senses. The validator Lord. The qualifier Lord, validator Lord for all our senses. In other words, the Lord who actually present in all our sensual image.
Quindi qua si parla di Rishikesha, che è il maestro dei sensi, che lui valida e lui è il maestro di tutti i nostri sensi.
Again. See, it needs some explanation. See, we have all our senses. But while we get dead, we become dead. None of these senses work. Because we lost our life. The validator Lord is absent there. One who is validating the ability of the senses. Because of the absence of Lord's presence in our body, in our senses, while we are dead. Although we have all the senses, we cannot see or hear or smell or touch or feel anything. Because the Lord Rishikesha is absent.
Se noi moriamo, non sentiamo più niente, anche se abbiamo ancora tutti i sensi, ma siccome il Signore Rishikesha, Signore dei sensi, è assente, noi non possiamo né sentire né udire niente.
So, Rishikena Rishikesham. Rishikena means by all our senses, Rishikesha, the Lord of all our senses, by whose presence all our sense activities, sense perception is validated. So, engaging in the devotional, loving devotional service to the Rishikesha, the Lord of all our senses, by the application of all our sense organs, called Bhakti, pure Bhakti.
E quindi il Signore Rishikesha, che è validatore di tutti i nostri sensi, se noi ci ingaggiamo al suo servizio con tutti i nostri sensi.
In other words, engaging all our senses, utilizing all our senses in the service of the Master, Lord of all our senses, called Rishikesha Krishna.
In altre parole, usare tutti i nostri sensi, impegnarli tutti nel servizio al Signore Supremo, Signore di tutti i nostri sensi, Rishikesha.
This is considered to be the great qualities of the pure devotees. And we find many great examples. We find many such great examples in the lives of pure devotees, such as those who engaged all their senses in the loving service to the Rishikesha, the Lord of all our senses. We find many such examples.
Troviamo tanti esempi nella vita dei devoti, dei puri devoti, che ingaggiano tutti i loro sensi nel servizio del Signore Krishna, maestro dei sensi.
For examples, for ideal examples like Ambarish Maharaj.
Un esempio ideale hanno tutti i loro sensi nel servizio amorevole al Signore e
Indeed.
in altre parole impegnarsi a pieno sensi, la mente. Il cuore non può impegnarsi uno tutti i sensi senza impegnare anche il cuore, e quindi questo è lo standard del servizio devozionale superiore.
Another verse. Klesagni, Shubhada, Moksha Labhutakrit, Chandrananda Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Gorshini Chasha. Another sign of the pure devotion. From the same, quoting from Bhakti Rasamrita Srimad. Klesagni, Shubhada, Moksha Labhutakrit, Chandrananda Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Gorshini Chasha.
Un altro segno di pura devozione è descritto nel Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Other signs of pure devotion is that when one has that taste, when one is having the taste of that sweet nectarine love of Krishna, devotion to Krishna, it automatically moves away, destroys all the miseries, all the miserable feelings of suffering from our life, klesagni, shubhada, and thereby fulfilling our mind, heart, whole existence with auspicious feelings, giving, blessing our mind, heart, whole existence with divine auspiciousness, feelings of auspiciousness, benedictions, highest good, nectarian good, shubhada.
Quindi avere del gusto, per avere gusto di servizio devozionale, avere questi sentimenti, riempie la nostra vita di auspiciosità e di auspiciosità.
And when one receives, when a pure devotee receives such taste, be decorated with such qualities, receives such nectarine, transcendental taste of loving devotion to Krishna, then his or her desire for attainment of liberation, mere liberation, becomes so petty, becomes so insignificant compared to what taste he or she is getting. Having mere liberation, as described in the scripture, becomes so petty and futile to them, because they are now getting something, treasure, nectarine treasure, much more beautiful, much more tasty, fulfilling compared to liberation, just liberation.
Quando un devoto sente questi sentimenti, si sente pieno con il servizio devozionale, sente il gusto per il servizio devozionale, si sente riempito e il desiderio per la liberazione diventa per lui così futile, perché lui si sente completamente riempito con questi sentimenti devozionali.
So moksha labhutakrit, I just explained. Next line, Chandrananda Visheshatma. That Atma, that pure devotee's heart and soul, now all becomes filled with transcendentally ecstatic love, blissful love of Krishna, blissful love of Supreme Absolute, divinely beautiful One. Blissful love of Supremely Divinely Beautiful One. Chandrananda Visheshatma.
Questi grandi devoti esaltati diventano pieni di amore statico per il supremo, bellissimo Signore Supremo.
I repeat, at that state, mind, heart and soul, whole existence becomes filled with Chandra means intense, condensed. Anandam means ecstasy or bliss. So filled with, inundated with, contains, entails nectarine bliss, blissful love of Krishna. Yes.
In altre parole, questi devoti esaltati, la loro mente, cuore, anima, tutto viene pervaso da una condensata estasi per l'amore per il Signore Supremo.
So much so, as if that he, that she, feels himself or herself almost becoming one with that ambrosial feelings, experience of ecstatic love of Krishna, Krishna Radhika, so much so. Vishesha Atma, as if they're becoming one, so intimately united with that. Or that ambrosial, blissful love of Krishna is becoming one with them. Unity. Sense of, experience of total unity, ambrosial unifications. Vishesha Atma.
Il devoto o devota si sentono con questi sentimenti così profondi come in una unità di questi sentimenti statici ambrosiali verso Krishna, diventano uno con questi potenti sentimenti.
And that kind of powerful, ecstatic, loving devotion towards Krishna or Radhika is actually able to attract their heart. Sri Krishna Karshini Chasha. So that kind of powerful, condensed, blissful, loving devotion towards Krishna cannot but irresistibly attracts the heart of Krishna, conquers the heart of Krishna. No other way out.
Potenti, statici, condensati sentimenti amorevoli verso Krishna non possono che non attrarre senza poter scappare il cuore di Krishna.
It so attracts the heart of Krishna that the character of how it is attracting heart of Krishna is irresistible. That ecstatic loving devotion towards Krishna is so powerful here, so condensed. Krishna cannot get away. Krishna cannot get away from that, but be helplessly, irresistibly attracted by that and comes close, it comes intimately close to the heart of that devotee. Okay.
Questa estasi amorevole, condensata per Krishna è così potente che Krishna non può che essere attratto da questa estasi amorevole e venire vicino al devoto.
These are the beautiful characters and qualifications of the high-class devotees, to have such treasures of qualities.
Queste sono le bellissime qualità e le descrizioni dei devoti di esaltati, ed è un grande tesoro avere queste qualifiche.
Another verse I remember. Kshantir abbartha kalattam viraktir manashunnata ashabandha samutkantha namogane sadaruchi ashaktikstad gunakhani pritistad vasatistali. In this way. See, as I look at you all, I can find some sort of physical fatigue. You have to promise to me, when you are all serious to receive the answer, okay, holistic answer to such a question, you cannot allow yourself to be fatigued and sleepy and unmindful. Then only we all deserve to hear the answer of such questions.
Vedo che forse in alcuni di voi si manifesta la fatica, però non potete permettere di essere sopraffatti dalla fatica se volete ricevere una risposta olistica a questa domanda, e tutti voi meritate di avere questa risposta.
Maybe this one last verse. I cannot go into explanation 26 qualities. It will take whole day. So
forse questo sarà l'ultimo verso, non posso entrare
maybe
nella
this one the last
discussione.
verse for now.
Per adesso è l'ultimo verso.
Kantirabbarthakalattam viraktir manusunnata. Other signs, great signs. Great signs of a pure devotee. Great signs, qualities of a life of the pure devotee. Kshantirabbarthakalattam viraktir manusunnata. Kshanti means the devotee knows to abstain from, refrain from those things not favorable to interest of Krishna. Kshanti. They know how to be detached from those. Yes.
Un grande segno, segni nella vita di grandi devoti è come essere distaccati, come separarsi dalle cose che non sono nell'interesse di Krishna.
Also, in another way, Kshanti means feeling very calm and quiet. Feeling very calm and quiet and totally peaceful. Being freed of all the burdens of unnecessary mundane stuffs, not favorable to life of Krishna consciousness, called Kshanti.
Quindi Kshanti, in altre parole, vuol dire tranquillo e pacifico, perché si è completamente liberi dai pesi delle attività mondane che non sono nell'interesse di Krishna.
In other words, feeling a total relief, feeling so much relieved from all kinds of burdens of unnecessary mundane things, separate from Krishna's interest, and thereby feeling so peaceful, self-contented, peacefully satisfied. Kshanti.
Quindi Kshanti, in altre parole, essere liberi, sentirsi liberati da tutto il peso di questi ingaggiamenti mondani, delle cose che non sono favorevoli a Krishna, e per questo uno si sente in pace e si sente soddisfatto.
And having that state of life, in order to be fully engaged, fully absorbed in pure Radha Krishna consciousness in the world of offering loving devotional service to them. Because they are completely freed from the burdens of all unnecessary, un-Krishna conscious stuffs. So,
quindi sentirsi liberi da tutte queste pesi non necessari delle cose non relative a Radha e Krishna, uno si può impegnare nel servizio di Radha e Krishna.
Next, abbarthakalatvam. No time can go in vain without engaging in Krishna conscious activities, Krishna service, called abbarthakalatvam. Planning out or utilizing or using all my time in such a way that none of the time points become wasted, going in vain without the connection of Krishna, without engaging in the loving service to Krishna, called abbartha kalattam.
Quindi utilizzare appropriatamente il proprio tempo, non sprecare niente, sempre essere ingaggiati nel servizio a Krishna, e quindi vuol dire pianificare il proprio tempo così che neanche un momento non viene sprecato se non è ingaggiato nel servizio.
Therefore, Sri Thakur Prabhupada often used to say, ours is 24 hours engagement in Krishna consciousness. The nature of our service engagement is 24 hours in 24 hours, including sleeping and everything. That's like a pure devotee.
Per questo Bhakti Nandan ha detto, il puro devoto, c'ha la natura che nelle 24 ore lui è impegnato, incluso quando dorme, impegnato nel servizio a Krishna.
No partial engagement, no partial contract with Krishna. The nature of our business with Krishna is not partial, it is full scale. No partial contract, with Krishna. Our business is holistic business with Krishna.
Quindi nessun contratto parziale con Krishna, la natura della nostra devozione è un contratto olistico con Lui.
In other words, it's never like we are doing a part-time job to engage in Krishna's service. Never. It's not a part-time job. It is our full scale, full swing engagement, loving engagement in Radha Krishna's service, 24 hours, within 24 hours. No partly business agreement.
E quindi in altre parole, il nostro servizio non deve essere un lavoro part-time, a metà tempo. Il nostro servizio amorevole a Radha e Krishna dovrebbe essere completo, sempre impegnato.
That is meant, this has been meant and explained by the word abbartha kalattam. None of the time points, none of the times or none of the time phases in a devotee's life should go in vain, should be wasted without connection of Krishna, without connection with Krishna's service.
In altre parole, nessun momento nel tempo o una fase nel tempo non dovrebbe essere sprecato nella vita di un devoto che non sia connesso con il servizio a Radha e Krishna.
Abbartha kalattam. In other words, each and every moments of the time are fully utilized, completely fully utilized in the loving service, in the engaging in the loving services of divine couple. Without allowing any fraction of the time without its connection.
In altre parole, che ogni frazione del tempo, ogni momento è ingaggiato pienamente nel servizio amorevole a Radha e Krishna e non permettere che nessuna frazione del tempo passa senza questo impegno.
So it is the conception of life, of living in Krishna consciousness in full swing, not partly living. It's fully living in Krishna consciousness.
Questo è il concetto della vita spirituale dove si vive pienamente la coscienza di Krishna in pieno potere.
Not outside it.
Non fuori dalla coscienza.
That's how the devotee's life should be designed. To be living in Krishna consciousness. Entirely. Entirely.
E questo è il modo in cui una vita di un devoto dovrebbe essere costruita internamente.
In totality.
Totalmente.
In totality.
In tutta la totalità dovrebbe essere strutturata così.
Suksantirabbarthakalattam. The next virakti is manushunnata. Virakti means vairagyam. Having all detachments towards all the mundane affairs, mundane things, which take us away from Krishna consciousness, which is not favorable to interest of Krishna. So cultivating the natural detachment, or having that natural detachment towards everything away from Krishna.
E bisogna coltivare questo naturale distacco da tutto quello che non è favorevole a Krishna.
Virakti. Virakti also means holy renunciation. Life of holy renunciation. Okay, holy sacrifice for the cause of Krishna. For the cause of Krishna. Meaning, life of the holy renunciation in the interest of Krishna, through which we eliminate anti-Krishna conscious things and embrace, accepting or favorable things to Krishna.
In altre parole, è una via di rinuncia di tutte le cose non anti-Krishna, sfavorevoli a Krishna, e accettare tutto quello favorevole.
So here virakti means life of renunciation, signs of renunciation, qualities of renunciation. Not only means just only the faculty, the functioning of renunciation, but renouncing it for further acceptance. So such renunciation or the detachment actually helps us to make more space for embracing further, for further acceptance of Krishna conscious wealth, great ambrosial treasure of Krishna consciousness in our life. Okay, acceptance of life of service. So that's what this virakti means.
Questo vuol dire una santa rinuncia, un santo sacrificarsi, non solo per dire io rinuncio a quelle cose sfavorevoli a Krishna, ma si rinuncia per fare spazio, per poter accettare i modi positivi, le cose positive allo sviluppo della coscienza di Krishna.
Manushunnata, being freed from the desires of receiving respect for one's own self. I repeat, being freed from all the desires of receiving high respect and honor towards one's own self, mundane honor and respect.
Essere completamente liberi del desiderio di ricevere grandi onori e rispetto mondano per se stessi.
Manushunnata, having the heart completely freed from the desire, devoid of the desires of receiving mundane honor and respect. Manushunnata.
Avere il cuore completamente libero dal desiderio di ricevere mondani rispetti e onori.
But it is indicating towards that kind of mundane honor and respect, which will not be promoting the cause of service to Krishna. There can also be some functions of reception of the divine respects, some respects and honor which are conducive, more congenial, very favorable to the interest of Krishna. That is another thing. But here it is only talked about no desire for receiving mundane respects, mundane honor, which takes us away from Krishna.
Qui si parla solo di essere liberi dal desiderio di ricevere onori e rispetti mondani che ci portano lontano da Krishna, non dei rispetti che uno ci può portare, che potrebbe essere congeniale in certe situazioni per la coscienza di Krishna, che possono essere favorevoli per Krishna.
Manushunnata Ashabandha Samutkantha. Having the heart filled with nectarine hope, immortal nectarine hope, which never dies, that one day I will be receiving Krishna. One day I will be attaining my beloved God, Krishna, beloved Goddess Srimati Radhika. I will be blessed with the attainment of their eternal, ambrosial, loving devotional service in my life. Having our heart, having the devotee's heart filled with such nectarine immortal hope, with hankering, concerns with hankering.
Il devoto che ha il cuore pieno di una speranza immortale, ambrosiale, che lui un giorno otterrà Krishna, otterrà Srimati Radharani, la coppia divina, e tutto questo con un grande desiderio, una grande grande desiderio di ottenere.
Ashabandha Samutkantha. So having one's own heart filled with that nectarine hope, nectarine blissful hope, one day I will be blessed, definitely blessed, because that is the promise of my Lord, of my divine Goddess Radhika, promise of my beloved Lord Krishna, that one day I must be blessed with the attainment, immortal nectarine attainment of eternal loving devotional service to them. And with that realization, with that hope, feeling more eager, samutkantha, becoming more and more eager, devotionally eager to offer more loving service to the Lord, to the divine couple.
Avere cuore pieno di questa speranza ambrosiale che un giorno sicuramente otterrò il servizio a Radha e Krishna, la coppia divina, perché questa è la promessa del mio Signore. Quindi con questa meravigliosa speranza divina uno ha ancora più entusiasmo nel fare il servizio devozionale.
In this way, thus, in other words, becoming more and more thirsty, more and more eager, irresistibly be more and more hankering for that highest ambrosial fortune, highest ambrosial fulfillment of life, attainment of ambrosial loving service to Krishna Radhika. Samutkantha.
In altre parole, essere sempre e sempre più assetati, sempre e sempre più desiderosi di ottenere questa meta suprema ambrosiale che è il servizio alla coppia divina.
See, here Samutkantha means ever increasing thirst, ever increasing hankering for that nectarine attainment.
Vuol dire una sete che incrementa sempre di più, un desiderio sempre più crescente per questo meta suprema.
Namogani sadaruchi. And with that state of consciousness, with that state of feelings, having more taste and attachment towards chanting and singing the holy names of the divine couple. Mahaprabhu, yes.
In questo stato di coscienza avere sempre più attaccamento e entusiasmo a cantare i santi nomi di Radha Krishna e Mahaprabhu.
Chanting, engaging in chanting and singing the love songs of the divine couple with ecstatic love. Being situated in ecstatic love feelings.
i santi.
Sadaruci.
Cantare i santi nomi e cantare le bellissime canzoni che descrivono Radha e Krishna con grandi sentimenti estatici.
Then it will automatically happen, be manifesting in this way. Okay? Then it will automatically be continuing naturally, like then asakti stadgunakhani. Not only feeling a great nectarine taste in chanting and singing the holy names and love songs of the divine couple, then also feeling extreme attachment, intense attachment to be speaking, chanting, singing their glories, their divine glories. A glimpse what we are receiving now. Like ever-flowing glories.
Questo è attaccamento, luci, il gusto per cantare i santi nomi e per cantare le glorie di Krishna e delle bellissime canzoni, e questo incrementerà sempre di più il gusto. Una parte di quello che noi possiamo sentire adesso, uno spiraglio di questo possiamo vedere.
Asakti stadgunakhani, feeling a great intense attachment, hankering attachment, to be engaged in speaking, chanting, singing their divine glories, glories of Radha Krishna.
E dopo questo gusto arriva un grande attaccamento di cantare le glorie di Radha e Krishna.
Glories of their divine name, form, qualities, lila, parikara vaishishta. So, the nature of their mutual love relationships between beloved Lord and his beloved associates, parikara vaishishta, nama, rupa, guna, lila, parikara vaishishta, all.
E questo grande gusto, un grande attaccamento sempre crescente che fluisce, troviamo sempre più gusto a descrivere i nomi, le forme, i passatempi di Krishna, dei suoi associati, delle sue glorie.
And besides, also having some natural affinity, feeling natural affinity and, how to say, attraction, attachment towards living in those pilgrimage places, living in those places where Lord is resident, Lord resided, such as Dhamas, Vrindavana Dhama, Navadvipa Dhama, Puri Dhama, Dwaraka Dhama.
E provare il naturale attaccamento e desiderio di vivere nei posti santi dove il Signore ha vissuto, come a Vrindavana, Mayapur, Puri Dhama.
I repeat, Priti Stad Vasati Stad. Feeling or having natural flow of love, feeling a natural flow of appreciation and love, attachment, loving attachment, to be residing in the same holy places, dhamas, where their lordships resided in, with their pure associates, beloved associates, and feeling that intense desire and appreciation for it.
Sentire un intenso desiderio, un affluente apprezzamento di poter risiedere nei posti dove il Signore, delle residenze del Signore, dove Lui risiedeva con i Suoi associati.
In these ways, pure devotees manifest such qualities in this way. So these are the great signs great signs of pure loving devotion to Krishna. Also great signs found in the character, manifesting in the character of the pure devotees, devoted lovers, beloved devotees of Krishna, Radhika, Krishna Radhika.
E quindi sono questi grandi segni della grande devozione per la coppia divina, per Radha Krishna, e allo stesso momento anche descrizioni del carattere dei grandi puri devoti esaltati e amati da Radha Krishna.
So there are many other beautiful verses about explaining the qualities of the devotees, devoted lovers of Krishna, many other.
Ci sono tantissimi altri bellissimi versi che
such as Satang Prasangan Mama Virja Sangvitu Bhavanti Hritkadna Rasayana Katha Tajyosanada Shakavarga Vartmani Saddharatir Bhaktir Anukramishati. Verses like Macchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nittam Tushanti Cha Ramanti Cha. There are also several other wonderful verses in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, from other holy scriptures regarding the qualities and characteristics of the good servitors, pure devotees.
Ci sono tante altre descrizioni nelle scritture sacre che parlano delle buone qualità dei puri devoti.
Maybe I will be explaining some other time. Okay.
Forse vi spiegherò.
Some other wonderful verses, such as Macchitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nittam Tushanti Cha Ramanti Cha. Great qualification, describing great qualification and characteristics of the pure devotees, high-class servitors. Find out that verse from Bhagavad Gita and read out that verse from starting with Macchitta. M-A-C-C.
Just a moment, I'm offline.
Ask me what to write. I'll tell
Yes.
you. So write M-A-C-C-I-T-A. Masita. Then separate word. Next word. Madgata. M-A-D-G-A. T long A. No, T-A. Masita Madgata. So you should find out now.
Chapter 10, verse 9, maybe.
Yes.
Madgata.
Masita M-A-C-C-I-T long A. Masita. Then Madgata Prana. M-A-D. Gata. M-A-D Madgata. G-A-T-A-H.
Yes. 10,
Okay.
9.
Read out the English translation.
Macchitta Madgata Prana.
Instead of I explain, let it be explained through the translation.
So, with their minds fixed on me and their lives surrendered to me, my devotees remain ever content in me. They derive great satisfaction and bliss in enlightening one another about me and in conversing about my glories.
Read out again. These are the qualities of a good servitor, good pure devotee.
One again in English.
English.
Yes. With their minds fixed on me and their lives surrendered to me, my devotees remain ever content in me. They derive great satisfaction and bliss in enlightening one another about me and in conversing about my glories.
Also read in Croatian?
Yes, Italian.
Italian, okay.
I miei puri devoti assorbono in me i loro pensieri, consacrano la vita al mio servizio e provano immensa soddisfazione e gioia a illuminarsi l'un l'altro parlando sempre di me.
So, receiving your answers about the qualities of the devotee, servitors. Receiving many answers, yes. Sufficient answer, I hope. Then find out that verse. Rupa Goswami described, dadati-pratigrhnati, guhyamakhyati picchati, bhumte bhojayati chaiva, sarvidhanga pratilakshanam. The six limbs are the pure characters and qualities of pure love for Krishna, pure loving devotion to Krishna. Read out that, find out from Udeshamritam. That verse, dadati-pratigrhnati, guhyamakhyati precchati, bhungte bhojayati chaiva, sarvidhanga pratilakshanam. Read out the translations. No? Dadati, D-A, D long A, T-I. Then next word, pratigrhnati, P-R-A-T-I, G-R-H-N-A-T-I. From the Goswami's Upadeshamritam. You found it? Good. Please read out loud. It's being recorded, so read the translation out loud.
Offering gifts and accepting gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence and inquiring confidentially, accepting prasada and offering prasada, these are the 6 symbols of love shared by the devotees.
Here, it is translated in a very plain way, very plain, simple way. Lot of inside meanings inside the translation. See, it's not just only offering some gifts like we present to each other. We just present to each other in friendly love, okay, and we appreciate a lot. It's not just only that quality of offerings. Much more than that. Offering devotional gifts, exchanging devotional gifts between each other. It also means giving devotional gifts to each other. Dadati.
What would that be? Like, what would that be? Devotional gifts.
Sì, qui è descritto in maniera semplice, non è solo effettivamente scambio dei regali, ma anche scambio dei regali devozionali. Mataji chiede cosa sarebbe questo.
Dadati means giving. It's a mutual giving. It's like gifts like something you are presenting to another dear devotee, which will be greatly utilized in the loving service to Radha Krishna. Fruits, roots, flowers, waters, okay, building the temple, okay, like some ornaments to decorate the deities, books, in the form of devotional books, in the form of some devotional services to other devotees, to help him to carry on his service to the Lord. So, these are considered devotional gifts. Gifts given in connection, in relation to devotional interest to the Supreme Lord. Devotional gifts.
I regali devozionali sono considerati i regali che sono fatti in connessione con il servizio, dove a chi si regala si aiuta nel suo servizio, per esempio si regalano i fiori, i frutti, oppure si costruisce un tempio, si regalano dei gioielli, qualcosa con quale si aiuta il devoto nel suo servizio devozionale.
Giving anything, offering anything to another devotee in connection with devotional service to the Lord, which will be very valuable and utilized, useful in the devotional service, such as anything, okay, food, water, clothes, other beautiful jewelries, publishing books, pure devotional books, or playing musical instruments, while giving musical instrument what can be used at the time of singing the love songs of the Lord, okay, playing drum, preaching activities, building temple activities, cooking delicious bhoga, offering bhoga and serving the prasadam, delicious prasadam to all the devotees, and helping them, in all respects, helping them with higher divine Krishna consciousness. These are all gifts. Of course, helping the devotees with higher Krishna consciousness is not to a devotee, to the public. Apart from that, so when in a mutual friendly love reciprocation, devotees are mutually giving to each other such devotional gifts which can have great utility in the field of loving devotional service to the Lord. These are devotional gifts. Okay, dadati.
Tutti i regali sono devozionali, quelli che sono in relazione col servizio devozionale, che hanno un gran valore e possono essere di gran aiuto nel servizio di quel devoto, come costruire un tempio, pubblicare il libro, regalare anche un strumento che sarà utilizzato per cantare le glorie di Krishna, e tutti questi scambi mutui dove si aiuta un altro nel servizio sono considerati regali devozionali.
Also, it has got another inner fold of meanings. It has got another inner meanings. Giving means by revealing, by exchanging. In other words, by revealing a devotee's inner devotional heart's feelings, inner love feelings in relation to the divine couple, and sharing it, means giving it, sharing it with another qualified devotee, like-minded devotee, also called giving. Giving. You are actually giving, means you are opening up and sharing. With great care, with great love, you are sharing your own innermost loving devotional feelings in relation to divine couple with other devotee, like-minded, qualified devotee. Also dadati.
Anche un regalo spirituale, aprire il proprio cuore con un devoto qualificato che ha stessi sentimenti come noi, a rivelare i nostri sentimenti profondi per il servizio per Radha e Krishna. Questo è un altro cambio di regali.
And also pratigrhnati, not only giving, in exchange, also receiving the same, whatever is explained now. Receiving the same through mutual reciprocation from the other devotee who is being given, who is being shared with. Both giving and taking. It's a divine give and take. It's a divinely mutual give and take in Radha Krishna consciousness between the devotees. Mutual feelings of sharing and caring for each other in such ways.
È un divino reciproco dare e ricevere, allo stesso modo uno dà e anche riceve, quindi riceve tutto quello che abbiamo detto fino adesso, uno che riceve anche un scambio d'amore.
And
Quando si
Prendersi cura dei devoti.
prendersi cura dei devoti.
so, dadati-pratigrhnati, the next, dadati-pratigrhnati. So, this character, the character of this kind of giving or sharing is further explained also in the next verse, next term, by revealing the confidential, esoteric, devotional feelings, mood and experience in relation to the ecstatic, loving, devotional service, connection with divine couple to one another. Gujjamakkati prichati, revealing the intimate, innermost love feelings, loving devotional feelings in relation to divine couple and their devotional service. Blissful devotional service, love service. Gujjamakkati prichati, expressing, discussing between one another.
Di altro modo di dare regali e aprirsi il suo cuore con questi sentimenti profondi, esoterici, a rivelarli a un devoto con simili sentimenti, e questo discutere è un scambio di amore.
Intimate exchanges.
Dei scambi intimi.
Gujjamakkati, through intimate exchanges. Gujjamakkati prichati. How? And how they are having, not open. Oh, I see the camera. And how the like-minded devotees, same category devotees are having the mutual exchanges. It is through how they are revealing, they are sharing their feelings, their intimate feelings of each other, between each other, through questioning and answering. Gujjamakkati prichati. By telling about one's own intimate, loving, devotional feelings and activities in relation to divine couple, and also asking that other devotee whom he is telling and sharing with, okay, and also knowing, asking him, devotee, to also exchange, also to be sharing his or her own intimate, loving, devotional feelings, same experience with him, through mutual reciprocations, by giving and taking, by revealing one's own heart and also asking other to reveal his or her heart to him. Mutual reciprocation. Gujjamakkati prichati.
Quindi una mutua reciprocazione dove uno rivela il proprio cuore e chiede l'altro anche di rivelare il proprio cuore, è un scambio amorevole.
In other words, in a plain way, revealing one's own mind and heart, one's own intimate mind and heart, intimate feelings about the divine couple, loving devotional relation and connection and experience about the divine couple between each other, among each other.
In altre parole, scambiarsi le proprie realizzazioni e dei sentimenti profondi in relazione al proprio rapporto con la coppia divina.
Bhungte bhojayate chaiva. Bhungte, accepting, tasting everything as the prasadam of Krishna. In a Krishna conscious life, a devotee cannot be living a life without Krishna's connection, outside Krishna consciousness. So accepting in that life, accepting everything in Krishna consciousness as prasadam of Krishna, bhungte, and also bhojayate, feeding the same Krishna prasadam to other devotees, helping to feed other Krishna devotees the same prasadam.
La vita devozionale di vedere tutto, accettare tutto come la misericordia, come prasada di Krishna e anche in stesso momento condividere con gli altri devoti e dargli del prasada.
Bhungte means eating. Literally it means eating, taking, absorbing inside one. Bhungte. Literally it means.
Letteralmente vuol dire mangiare, prendere, assorbire dentro di sé.
And bhojayate means, literally means feeding. Feeding another devotee.
L'altra parola letteralmente vuol dire nutrire, dare da mangiare all'altro devoto.
So, eating or consuming, accepting what? Here eating is a poetic way, poetic. Eating means consuming, accepting what in your life? Accepting everything as in the form of Krishna prasadam, as remnants of Krishna. First everything offered to Krishna, and then is blessed by Krishna, and then accepting it as remnant of Krishna, whether in regard to food, whether with regard to eating, drinking, sleeping, or wearing clothes, or living or any kind of life, all must be in Krishna consciousness. That kind of way of acceptance as Krishna's prasad.
Letteralmente vuol dire mangiando, ma vuol dire consumare, accettare tutto come prasada di Krishna, vuol dire prima di usare qualsiasi cosa, offrirlo prima a Krishna e poi dopo che è stato benedetto dal Signore possiamo accettare il cibo, i vestiti e tutto.
And bhojayate chaiva. Also feeding the same to other like-minded devotees. Feeding, supplying, providing the same sustenance, same divine life sustenance, Krishna prasad, to others devotees in mutual understanding.
E dare da mangiare vorrebbe dire sì, condividere prasada, ovvero il sostenimento con i devoti che hanno lo stesso pensiero come noi.
Sarvidham, the 6 ways, the 6 limbs are pritilakshanam, are the great signs, pure signs of the pure loving devotion.
E quindi questi
Pure loving devotion to Krishna.
6 segni sono i 6 segni della pura devozione al Signore Krishna.
So these are the great qualifications, characteristics of great servitors, sincere devotees, servitors.
Quindi queste sono state delle grandi, bellissime qualifiche dei sinceri devoti di Krishna.
There are several other verses describing about the same topic, maybe some other time.
Ci sono un paio di altri versi che descrivono stesso l'argomento, ma magari ne approfondiamo un'altra volta.
Jai Hare Krishna. Jai Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Gopinath Ji Giriraj Maharaj Prabhu Jagannath Baladev Ji Subhadra Maharani Giriraj Govardhan Maharaj Sri Gurudev Guru Varga Lakshmi Singha Bhagavan Ji Jai Sri Guru Varga Sri Prabhupada Rupan Guru Varga Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Jai. All glories to all our Guru Varga, all Vaishnava Vrinda. Glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Jai Vijapa Srimad Bhakti Alok Tapasya Maharaj Ki Jai. Appreciating his happy presence here. Hare Krishna. See, Maharaj has been present all the time. Tasting. It's another great symptom, great sign of a pure devotee.
È un un altro grande sintomo del puro devoto che il Buddha stava qui ad ascoltare e gustare.
He has been present all the way, all the time.
Era tutto il tempo presente.
Although living sometimes for the physical needs, going away for a while and coming back. This is the sign, pure sign.
Questo è un puro sintomo.
Okay. Go
See good quality in everyone. This is the quality of the beauty world. You see good quality everywhere.
Well, where there are already many good qualities, so I should naturally see good qualities there, because already there are good qualities, so I have to recognize. Very nice. Nice.
Thank you, Maharaj. Well, nice. Lecture. These things are very important. Without basis, we can.
Yes, God, yes. Okay. So, Swami Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Java Tapasya Maharaj ki jai.